Welcome. Tonight, we will travel back into the distant past to a time when metal was new, when the rhythm of life was shaped by the rising and setting of the sun, and when survival was a daily challenge. The Bronze Age, a world of fire, of stone, of simple tools and complex beliefs. A time of great human effort, where every meal was earned with labor, every shelter crafted by hand, and every superstition shaped by fear of the unknown. You are invited now to settle in, make yourself comfortable, and allow your mind to drift. Imagine yourself in an ancient landscape, surrounded by wide open skies, mist-covered forests, and quiet fields. There are no cities here, no roads as you know them. Only small clusters of homes, smoke rising from thatched roofs, the soft hum of life at the very edge of what we now call history. As you listen, we will gently explore this world together. You will meet the villagers, learn their daily tasks, share in their hardships and small joys. You will witness ancient rites and mysteries and see both the humble lives and the quiet power of the Bronze Age elite. There is no need to stay awake for it all. Whether you drift off now or later, this ancient world will continue its calm, steady rhythm, waiting for you when you return. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Grinding grain and hauling water, village chores. Imagine the faint light of dawn seeping through a thick mist that hangs low over the land. The air is cool, damp with the scent of wet earth and fresh grasses. A small Bronze Age village, nestled near the edge of a slow-moving stream, stirs to life. Thatched huts of wattle and daub stand close together, their dark interiors lit only by the faint glow of dying embers. Inside one such home, a woman rises quietly. The floor beneath her feet is hard-packed earth, cool to the touch. She moves with practiced ease, feeding the hearth with dried twigs and peat, coaxing new life into the fire. Smoke curls upwards and out through a small hole in the roof. The warmth spreads slowly, offering a little comfort against the chill. Nearby, a simple quernstone awaits. Two large, flat stones stacked one atop the other, the upper one pierced with a hole and fitted with a wooden handle. Grain from the last harvest sits in a woven basket. It must be ground today as every day to make the coarse bread that feeds the village. She pours a small handful of barley into the center of the stone and begins to turn the handle in a steady rhythm. Round and round, the stone moves, its surface rough against the grain. The soft sound of grinding fills the hut, joined by the quiet crackle of the hearth. The work is slow, repetitive, and requires strength. Her arms tire, but there's no choice. Without this labor, there would be no food. Outside, the village awakens. Men prepare to tend the small herds of sheep and goats, while others ready themselves for a day in the fields. Children, still wrapped in woolen blankets, peer sleepily from beneath furs. The sky lightens, casting a pale glow across the land. Water must be fetched. The woman lifts a heavy clay jar, its surface cool and rough beneath her hands. The path to the stream is well worn, its edges soft with moss. She walks carefully, bare feet pressing into damp earth. Birds call from nearby trees, their songs mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves. At the water's edge, the stream moves slowly, its surface dappled with light. She kneels, steadying the jar, and dips it beneath the surface. Cold water flows in, dark and clear. Lifting the full jar is no easy task, but she manages, rising carefully and beginning the walk back to the village. By the time she returns, the hut is warmer, the air inside rich with the scent of smoke and fresh grain. The grinding continues. Another woman joins her and they work together, their movements synchronized. Conversation is soft, words few. There's too much to do for idle talk. Elsewhere in the village, more tasks await. Nets must be mended, tools repaired, clothing woven or patched. Each day brings the same needs, the same labor, driven by the cycle of life in a world without machines, without ease. Imagine now the rhythm of their lives. The steady sound of grinding stone, the soft splash of water, the quiet murmur of voices. The hours stretch long, filled with necessary tasks. Time is marked not by clocks, but by the sun's slow arc across the sky. A young boy carries a bundle of firewood into the hut, arms straining under the weight. His sister follows with a basket of herbs gathered from the forest's edge. They too have their duties, learning the skills that will one day sustain their own families. The men return at midday, bringing news of the fields and the herds. A small fish caught in the stream is added to the day's meal. Over the hearth, a simple stew begins to simmer, its scent filling the air. Through all of this, the grinding continues. Hands grow calloused, shoulders ache, yet the work does not end. Bread is life, and life depends on labor. As evening approaches, the village quiets once more. The last of the grain is ground, the final jar of water carried in. The hearth burns low, casting long shadows across the hut's walls. Outside, the sky deepens to a soft twilight. In this small world, earth, stone, and fire, each day follows the same patient rhythm. The villagers know no other way. Their lives are shaped by necessity, by the slow turn of seasons, and by the simple tools they wield. And so the night comes again, cool and dark, wrapping the village in its quiet embrace. The people sleep, knowing that with dawn, the cycle will begin anew. As dawn once more paints the horizon in gentle hues, the villagers rise again to meet another day. The morning air is crisp, the earth beneath their feet still cool with the night's dampness. The fires are rekindled, their faint glow a source of comfort against the early chill. The tasks of the previous day resume with practiced ease, for the rhythm of life in the Bronze Age village allows for no idleness. The cornstone is already in motion. The soft, repetitive sound of grinding fills the hut, a background melody to the waking village. The woman's hands move steadily, her muscles accustomed to the strain. Nearby, her children assist where they can, learning through observation and imitation. These simple acts, repeated daily, weave the fabric of their existence. The process of grinding grain is both meditative and demanding. It requires patience, strength, and a deep understanding of the tools. The coarsely ground flour produced here will feed the entire household. The work is never hurried, for haste can lead to poor results and wasted effort. Each turn of the stone is a small step toward nourishment. Outside, the village stirs with quiet activity. Men prepare to venture into the fields, their tools worn smooth from use. The plow, pulled by sturdy oxen, is a vital implement, carving furrows into the earth for planting. The soil, dark and rich, promises sustenance if properly tended, yet the villagers know that nature is fickle. A sudden storm, a dry season, or a blight can undo months of labor. Women gather herbs and wild greens along the forest's edge. Their keen eyes search for useful plants, knowledge passed down through countless generations. The air here is thick with the scent of pine and damp leaves. The forest offers both bounty and danger, its depths a place of mystery and caution. Water, as ever, is needed. Another journey to the stream begins. The clay jars, though heavy, are essential for daily life. The path is familiar, worn smooth by countless footsteps. Along the way, small animals dart through the underbrush, their movements swift and silent. The stream itself is a constant presence, its gentle flow a soothing counterpoint to the villagers' labor. Within the huts, repairs and maintenance occupy many hands. The thatched roofs must be inspected, walls patched where needed. Clothing, woven from wool and flax, requires constant care. Needles carved from bone-stitch worn garments, each repair an act of preservation in a world where new materials are precious. The children's education is informal yet vital. They observe their elders, mimic their tasks, and gradually assume greater responsibilities. A young girl practices weaving, her small fingers working the loom with growing skill. A boy learns to shape simple tools under his father's watchful eye. These lessons ensure the continuity of knowledge, a link between past and future. As midday approaches, the sun climbs higher, its warmth spreading across the land. The villagers pause briefly for a shared meal, simple fare prepared over the hearth. Bread made from freshly ground grain, a stew of vegetables and herbs, perhaps a piece of cured meat if fortune allows. The food is hearty, sustaining the body for the work that lies ahead. The afternoon brings renewed activity. The fields demand attention. Weeds must be cleared and crops tended. The rhythm of agricultural life is unrelenting, each season bringing its own set of tasks. The villagers work with an awareness of time's passage, the subtle cues of nature guiding their efforts. In the quieter moments, there's space for reflection. Stories are shared among the workers, tales of ancestors and old wisdom. These narratives, passed from generation to generation, bind the community together, offering comfort and identity. As the sun begins its descent, shadows lengthen across the village. The day's work winds down, tools are cleaned and stored, the hearth prepared for the evening. The cornerstone rests, its task complete for now. The air grows cooler, the sounds of the village softening into evening calm. In the fading light, the villagers gather. Conversations flow gently, laughter mingling with the crackle of the fire. The bonds of kinship and community are strengthened in these shared moments. Though their lives are shaped by hardship and labor, there is a quiet resilience, a deep connection to the land and to each other. Night falls, and the village settles into rest. The cycle of life continues, each day a reflection of those before it. In this ancient world, shaped by fire, stone, and human hands, the villagers endure. There lives a testament to the strength and perseverance of the human spirit. Chapter 2. How to Survive a Bronze Age Winter. The air is different now. A sharper chill creeps through the village, and the light of day fades more quickly than before. The once green fields lie bare, their harvests gathered, and the distant forest stands in somber silence. It is the turning of the seasons. For the villagers, the arrival of winter is not merely a change in weather, but a challenge to be met with careful preparation and constant vigilance. Imagine yourself standing in the heart of the village. The air smells of smoke and damp wood. Breath clouds the air with every exhale. Inside the huts, fires burn steadily, tended with care, for their warmth will mean the difference between comfort and hardship in the long months ahead. The villagers have long anticipated this time. Their efforts in the preceding months aimed at ensuring survival through the cold. The granaries are checked and rechecked. Woven baskets and clay jars are filled with dried grains, beans, and nuts. Every crack in the storage is sealed with mud and straw to keep out moisture and pests. The fruits of the harvest are precious, each kernel a promise of nourishment in the lean days to come. In another part of the village, meat hangs in the smokehouse. Slabs of venison, strips of fish, and sides of pork have been carefully cured and smoked. The scent of smoke mingles with the rich aroma of preserved meat, a signal of the labor invested in preserving life through winter's grip. These stores are guarded closely, rationed with care, for excess now could lead to hunger later. Herbs and medicinal plants, gathered during the warmer months, are laid out to dry. Bundles of sage, yarrow, and mint hang from rafters, their subtle fragrances filling the air. These simple remedies will soothe ailments and ease discomfort when other resources are scarce. Knowledge of these plants is passed from elder to child, a vital thread in the fabric of survival. Clothing is inspected and repaired. Thick woolen garments, woven through countless hours of labor, are patched and reinforced. Furs are brought out, their warmth a barrier against the biting cold. Every layer matters. In this world without glass windows or insulated walls, the elements press close, and preparation is life. The huts themselves undergo careful maintenance. Thatches tighten, gaps in the walls filled with mud and straw. Hearths are cleared and readied, for the fires within will burn day and night. A single ember, tended through the dark hours, can reignite warmth when dawn breaks. The villagers also prepare their minds for the coming season. They gather to tell stories, to sing, to remember that hardship is shared and that together they will endure. These gatherings foster resilience, a quiet strength born of community and tradition. Outside, the land begins to change. Frost rims the edges of the stream. The earth grows hard beneath the feet. Animals move less frequently, their tracks visible in the snow that now falls softly, blanketing the village in silence. The world narrows, the boundaries of daily life shrinking to the warmth of the hearth and the small paths between homes. Firewood is gathered in great quantities, stacked high against the walls of the huts. The villagers know that fuel will be as vital as food. Without it, the cold will creep in, stealing strength and life. Children help where they can, dragging smaller branches, learning the rhythms of preparation that will one day be their own responsibility. In the evenings, as the wind howls outside and snowdrifts form, families huddle close. The light of the fire flickers on the walls, casting long shadows. Meals are simpler now, portions measured with care. A thick porridge of grains and herbs, a small slice of preserved meat, perhaps a broth rich with bone and marrow. Each bite is a comfort, a reassurance that the stores are holding. Time moves differently in winter. The sun's arc is low, its warmth fleeting. Days blur into nights. The villagers mark the passage of time through small rituals, the turning of the calendar stones, the telling of ancient tales. These acts provide rhythm, a sense of continuity in a season that can feel endless. Through it all, there is an undercurrent of caution. Illness thrives in close quarters, and a harsh winter can claim the weak. The healer moves quietly through the village, offering herbs, tending the sick. Her knowledge is invaluable, her presence a source of comfort. The nights grow longer still. The fire's glow becomes the heart of each home, a beacon against the darkness. Outside, the wind whispers through bare branches, carrying with it the timeless song of the winter land. The heart of winter settles over the land. The snow lies deep, its white surface unbroken save for the narrow paths trodden between huts. The stream, once flowing freely, is now edged with ice, its gentle trickle muted beneath the frozen crust. Within the village, life has slowed, but it has not stopped. Each day brings its own quiet rhythm, shaped by the cold and the need to endure. Inside the huts, fires burn low, carefully tended to conserve precious fuel. The warmth they provide is limited, but vital. Families cluster close, sharing blankets of wool and fur. The air is thick with the mingled sense of smoke, herbs, and humanity. Outside, the world is still, muffled beneath a thick cloak of snow. The tasks of survival continue. Food stores are checked daily. Each meal is planned with care, ensuring that supplies will last until the thaw. Grains are ground in smaller quantities now, each portion measured. The cornstone turns with deliberate slowness, its familiar sound a quiet reminder of life's persistence. Meat and fish, drawn from the smokehouse, are rationed carefully. The stew pot simmers with whatever can be spared, enriched with dried herbs and roots. The meals are simple but sustaining, a source of warmth and strength. Hunger is a constant companion, but discipline tempers its bite. Firewood dwindles with each passing day. The stacks outside grow smaller. Whenever weather permits, small parties venture out to gather more, braving the cold for the sake of warmth. The forest, though blanketed in snow, offers fallen branches and the occasional deadfall. Each piece of wood is carried back with care, its value understood by all. Illness remains a threat. The healer watches for signs of fever, for coughs that linger too long. Her remedies, though simple, are a lifeline. Infusions of elderberry, teas of yarrow and mint, poultices of moss and bark. Her knowledge, born of long experience, offers hope in a season of vulnerability. The children, restless within the confines of their homes, find ways to pass the time. They play with carved figures of wood and bone, mimic the tasks of their elders, and listen to stories. The tales told now are of resilience, of ancestors who weathered harsher winters, of the strength found in unity and patience. The elders speak of the sun's return. They watch the slow lengthening of days, the subtle shift in light. Markers are kept stoned aligned with this solstice, reminders that winter's grip will eventually loosen. These signs bring quiet hope, a promise that life will once again stir in the land. In the evenings, the village gathers in small groups. Songs are sung, their melodies soft and steady. The voices rise and fall in gentle harmony, filling the darkened spaces with warmth beyond that of the fire. These moments of togetherness fortify the spirit, binding the community with shared resolve. As the deepest cold passes, there are signs of change. The snow softens underfoot. Icicles drip slowly in the midday sun. The animals, long sheltered, grow restless. The air carries a new scent. They're faint but promising. The rhythm of life quickens in response. Preparations begin for the coming thaw. Tools are inspected, fields are discussed. The tasks of spring are anticipated with a mixture of eagerness and caution. The villagers know that the transition will bring its own challenges, that the earth must be coaxed back to fertility. When the first true thaw arrives, the village stirs with renewed energy. The stream flows freely once more, its waters cold and clear. The snow recedes, revealing the bare earth beneath. The villagers step outside, faces lifted to the pale sun. The long winter is ending. In this world shaped by nature's cycles, survival through winter is an achievement earned through foresight, labor, and community. Each year that passes is a testament to human resilience, to the enduring spirit of those who live close to the land. As the village prepares to greet the warmth of spring, there is a sense of quiet triumph. The hardships endured have strengthened the bonds between families, between neighbors. The cycle of life continues steady and unbroken. Chapter 3. The Talon Man, Secrets of a Bog Body. Imagine yourself walking through a quiet landscape. The ground soft beneath your feet, the air heavy with moisture. The mist lies thick here, drifting low across the earth. Beneath this shrouded sky stretches a vast bog, its dark surface broken by tufts of grass and the occasional twisted tree. There is a stillness in the air, a sense of ancient secrets hidden just below the surface. In this landscape, time feels suspended. The bog has remained unchanged for centuries, a place both feared and revered by those who live nearby. Its waters are cold and acidic, preserving all they touch. It is within such a place that the remains of the Talon Man were found, resting undisturbed for over 2 millennia. The Talon Man is one of many so-called bog bodies, preserved by the unique conditions of peat bogs across northern Europe. His discovery offers a rare glimpse into the life and death of a Bronze Age individual, a window into a world otherwise known only through stone and bone. Picture the scene of his unearthing. A layer of peat carefully peeled away reveals a face, serene and lifelike, the skin darkened but intact. His eyes are closed, his features peaceful. A soft cap of wool still covers his head. A simple leather thong encircles his neck. The sight is both haunting and profound, a human presence reaching out across the centuries. What can this ancient figure tell us? The preservation of his body allows scholars to study details often lost to time. His skin, hair, and even stomach contents provide valuable insights. From his remains, we learn of his final meal, a simple porridge of grains and seeds. His body shows no signs of disease or malnutrition, suggesting he lived a life of relative health. Yet it is his manner of death that invites deeper reflection. The noose around his neck tells a story of ritual, of sacrifice perhaps, rather than execution. In Bronze Age culture, bogs were seen as liminal spaces, places where the world of living and the world of the spirits met. Offerings were made to appease unseen forces, to ensure fertility, protection, or balance. Imagine the solemn procession that may have accompanied his final moments. A group of villagers gathered at the bog's edge, bearing their offering. Prayers whispered into the damp air, movements slow and deliberate. The act, though grim, carried out with reverence. In a world where survival depended on harmony with nature, such rites held deep significance. The bog itself would have accepted the offering, its cold embrace preserving the moment in time. Centuries later, the Talon man's discovery would stir the imagination of modern scholars and laypeople alike. His expression, calm and almost restful, invites empathy, bridging the vast gulf of time. Consider now the broader context of bog bodies. They are found across regions where peat bogs exist, each offering unique clues. Some show signs of violent death. Others appear to have been carefully placed. The reasons remain debated. Were these punishments for crimes, sacrifices to the gods, or deaths born of social or political unrest? The answers remain elusive. Yet, what is clear is the central role such places held in Bronze Age life. Bogs were more than landscapes. They were thresholds, places of transformation and mystery. The offerings made here reflect a worldview deeply connected to nature, to cycles of life and death, to forces beyond human control. As you stand in the imagined stillness of the bog, the weight of history presses gently upon you. The Talon man resting in the cool depths speaks of a time when human life was intimately entwined with the land, when belief and survival were inseparable. His preserved form is a silent testament to the enduring human presence in this ancient place. The quiet landscape of the bog stretches before you, its surface broken by patches of dark water and soft tufts of grass. The air is cool and damp, carrying with it the earthy scent of peat and decay. In this timeless place, the past lingers just beneath the surface. The Talon man is but one of many whose stories are hidden here, preserved by the unique alchemy of water, moss, and time. Modern scholars approach these ancient remains with great care, their tools gentle, their movements deliberate. Each layer of peat is peeled back with reverence, for what lies beneath is not merely an archaeological find, but a human being whose life once pulsed with breath and thought. The study of such bodies offers a rare connection to the individuals of the Bronze Age, a glimpse beyond the artifacts of stone and metal. The preservation of the Talon man is remarkable. His skin, though darkened by tannins in the peat, retains a supple texture. His facial features remain distinct, the fine lines of his mouth and brow still visible. Even the stubble of a beard is present, offering a tangible sense of the man he once was. Such preservation allows researchers to study not only his appearance, but also aspects of his life that would otherwise be lost to history. Analysis of his stomach contents reveals the simplicity of his final meal. A porridge of barley and flax, mixed with wild seeds, prepared with care. There is no trace of meat or exotic ingredients, suggesting a meal grounded in the everyday life of his community. This modest fare speaks to the rhythms of the village, where each meal was an act of both sustenance and gratitude. The leather noose found around his neck raises more complex questions. Was his death a punishment, a sacrifice, or a voluntary offering? The peaceful expression on his face suggests that if he faced fear, it is not etched into his final repose. Instead, he seems caught in a moment of calm, as if resigned to his fate. The cultural context of his death remains a subject of debate, but what is clear is the ritual significance of the bog itself. In Bronze Age belief, bogs were seen as portals, places where the world of the living brushed against the realm of spirits or deities. Offerings of valuable objects, food, and even human lives were made to maintain balance and seek favor. The Talon man's presence here suggests that he, too, was part of such a rite, his life given in hopes of securing the well-being of his people. Across northern Europe, similar discoveries echo these themes. The Grobel man, the Eid girl, and countless others lie in the cold embrace of bogs, each with their own story, each a silent witness to ancient beliefs. Together, they form a tapestry of ritual and reverence, a testament to humanity's enduring search for harmony with the unseen forces of nature. As you envision the village that once stood near this bog, imagine the weight such a sacrifice would carry. The community gathered in solemn ceremony, their hopes and fears woven into the act. The bog's dark waters seen not with fear alone, but with respect, a place where the old ways connected them to the mysteries of the world. Today, the Talon man rests in a museum, preserved with the same care that once wrapped him in peat and time. Visitors gaze upon his face, struck by its humanity. In that quiet gaze, the distance between past and present narrows. His presence reminds us that beneath the layers of history, the core experiences of life and death, belief and ritual remain constant. The bog remains as well, its waters still and patient, guarding secrets yet to be revealed. It waits in silence, a living memory of the Bronze Age world, where fire, earth, and spirit shaped the rhythm of life. The Talon man's story continues, inviting us to listen, to reflect, and to remember the deep and ancient roots of human experience. Chapter 4: Stone Circles and Bronze Rituals. The land stretches wide beneath a pale sky, its rolling hills dotted with ancient stones. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of grass and distant fires. You stand before a great stone circle, its towering monoliths weathered by countless seasons. Their surfaces are rough, lichen-clad, each one placed with deliberate care. This is a place of gathering, of ceremony, a sacred space where the people of the Bronze Age sought connection with forces beyond their understanding. These stone circles, scattered across the landscape, are more than monuments. They are markers of belief, of time, of the cycles of nature that governed every aspect of life. Imagine the effort required to raise such stones. Quarried from distant hills, transported across uneven ground, each one positioned with precision. The labor was immense, but it was not undertaken lightly. The stones served a purpose deeper than mere display. As dawn breaks, the villagers gather. Their breath rises in misty clouds, voices hushed in anticipation. The circle stands silent, its stones casting long shadows across the frost-kissed grass. Today is a day of ritual, aligned with the turning of the seasons. The solstice approaches, the shortest day of the year. It is a time to honor the sun, to seek its return, to reaffirm the rhythms that sustain life. The ceremony begins with quiet reverence. Offerings are prepared, grains, woven wreaths, small figures shaped from clay. A fire is lit at the heart of the circle, its flames dancing against the cold. The villagers move with solemn grace, placing their gifts upon the earth. These acts are more than tradition. They are a dialogue with the unseen, a way to maintain harmony with the world. Imagine the sounds that fill this space, the crackle of fire, the soft murmur of chants, the low hum of a bone flute. The voices rise and fall, carrying prayers into the air. The children watch with wide eyes, absorbing the rituals that will one day be theirs to uphold. The elders lead with quiet authority, their knowledge drawn from generations past. The alignment of the stones is no accident. As the sun rises, its light pierces the circle, illuminating a central point. This moment is met with collective awe, a reaffirmation that the world turns as it should. The sun's return is a promise of renewal, of life continuing despite the harshness of winter. It is a moment of hope, woven into the very fabric of the community's existence. Beyond the circle, the landscape holds other sacred sites. Burial mounds dot the hills, their contents long hidden. Pathways worn by countless footsteps connect these places, forming a web of meaning across the land. Each stone, each mound, each ritual speaks to a worldview deeply rooted in place and time. The role of ritual in Bronze Age life cannot be overstated. It provided structure, comfort, a sense of order in a world filled with uncertainty. The forces of nature were unpredictable, their favor sought through ceremony and sacrifice. The stone circles served as focal points for this dialogue, their enduring presence a testament to their importance. In the stillness of the present, standing within the circle, you can almost feel the weight of those countless gatherings. The stones bear silent witness to joy and sorrow, to hopes whispered into the wind. The landscape remembers, even when the voices have faded. These rituals were not limited to the solstice. Throughout the year, the community would gather here for various ceremonies. The changing of seasons, rites of passage, moments of crisis or celebration, all found expression within this space. The stones offered continuity, a bridge between past and present, the living and the spirit world. As the day fades, the villagers depart, their steps slow and thoughtful. The fire burns low, embers glowing softly in the twilight. The stone circle returns to stillness, awaiting the next gathering. Its presence endures, a timeless sentinel in the landscape. Even as the villagers return to their homes, the presence of the stone circle lingers in their minds. It stands as a constant reminder of their connection to the land and to forces beyond the everyday. In the quiet of their huts, by the glow of the hearth, stories of past ceremonies are shared. The elders speak of ancestors who placed the first stones, of omens read in the play of sunlight and shadow. These tales, passed from one generation to the next, keep the meaning of the circle alive. As the seasons turn, preparations for future rituals begin anew. Offerings are gathered with care. Special grains are set aside, herbs are dried, and new clay figures are shaped by skilled hands. Each item carries significance, chosen for its connection to the cycle of life. Even the crafting of these offerings is a ritual in itself, performed with mindfulness and intent. The role of the ritual leaders is vital. Often drawn from the elder members of the community, they possess deep knowledge of the old ways. They understand the subtle alignments of the stones, the timing of celestial events, and the meanings hidden in ancient chants. Their guidance ensures that the ceremonies maintain their integrity, linking the present to a long and sacred tradition. At certain times of the year, travelers from neighboring villages arrive. Word spreads of an upcoming gathering, and the stone circle becomes a place of reunion. Old alliances are reaffirmed, new bonds are forged. The gatherings offer more than spiritual sustenance. They strengthen the social fabric of the wider community. Amid the solemnity of ritual, there is also joy in shared songs, feasts, and friendship. The rituals themselves evolve with time, shaped by the experiences of each generation. New songs are added to the old, fresh insights woven into the chants. Yet the core remains unchanged, a reverence for the cycles of nature, a deep respect for the land, and a belief in the unseen forces that shape life. The stone circle anchors these beliefs, a physical and spiritual center. Children are brought to witness the ceremonies from an early age. They learn by watching, by listening, by feeling the rhythm of the gathering. As they grow, they take on greater roles, preparing offerings, joining the chants, and eventually guiding others. Through this process, the wisdom of the past is preserved, ensuring that the meaning of the circle is never lost. In the wider landscape, other forms of ritual expression can be found. Carved stones mark important sites. Pathways connect sacred places. Burial mounds honor the dead, their contents arranged with care. These elements together form a spiritual geography, a map of meaning that shapes how the community understands its place in the world. The changing seasons bring new rituals. The arrival of spring is met with joy and renewal. Summer's height is celebrated with dances and songs beneath the open sky. The harvest brings gratitude and offerings of thanks. Each moment in the cycle is marked, acknowledged, woven into the life of the village. The stone circle stands at the heart of this rhythm. Its enduring presence offers continuity, a sense of timeless connection. It is a place where the boundaries between the seen and unseen grow thin, where the voices of the past echo faintly in the air. To stand within its bounds is to feel part of something greater, a thread in the vast tapestry of life. As the years pass, the stones weather but remain strong. Moss creeps along their surfaces, lichens form intricate patterns. Yet they endure, holding their place beneath the sky. The villagers too endure, their lives shaped by the same rhythms that guided their ancestors. When you imagine yourself standing within that ancient circle, feel the weight of its history, the quiet power of its presence. It speaks of belief, of community, of the human desire to find meaning in the vast and changing world. The stones remain steadfast and silent, waiting for the next gathering, the next voice to join the ancient chorus. Chapter 5. Bronze Age Tools and Weapons. The village stirs in the gentle light of early morning. A thin mist lingers across the fields, dew clinging to the grass. In one corner of the settlement, near the hearth where the smith works, faint sounds begin to rise. The rhythmic tap of hammer on metal, the soft hiss of water meeting hot bronze. This is a place of quiet industry where simple tools and deadly weapons take form under skilled hands. The introduction of bronze marked a turning point in human life. Harder and more durable than stone, yet easier to shape than iron. It allowed for the creation of implements that transformed daily existence. The smith, a respected figure in the village, holds knowledge that borders on the mysterious. His craft is guided by both experience and ritual, for the process of bronze making is not without its dangers. Picture the smith at work. The forge glows with a deep orange light, its heat radiating outward. Bellows made from animal hide force air into the flames, raising the temperature high enough to melt the bronze. The metal itself is a blend, copper softened by the careful addition of tin. The proportions must be exact. Too little tin and the bronze will be weak. Too much and it will become brittle. Chunks of copper and tin are placed into a clay crucible. As the heat builds, the metals melt into a single shimmering liquid. The smith watches closely, reading the signs in the color of the molten metal. When the moment is right, he pours the bronze into prepared molds, each shaped to create a specific tool or weapon. The molds are crafted from clay or carved stone, their form simple but precise. Among the most valued creations are the bronze axes. Their edges are sharp, their weight balanced for effective use. These axes fell trees, shape timbers, and can serve as formidable weapons in times of conflict. Knives and sickles are also common, their keen edges making light work of tasks that once strained stone implements. With these tools, the villagers can harvest more efficiently, build more securely, and defend themselves more effectively. Spears are another product of the smith's art, long shafts tipped with bronze. Points provide both hunters and warriors with weapons of reach and precision. The bronze tips are secured tightly to wooden shafts, lashed with sinew or leather. Such spears are versatile, useful for hunting game or standing in defense of the village. The process of creating these items is laborious. Each tool or weapon represents hours of careful work. The metal must be melted, poured, cooled, and then shaped through further hammering and sharpening. The smith's skill lies not only in his technical ability, but also in his understanding of the materials. A misjudged pour or an uneven tempering can ruin the piece. Beyond their practical uses, these objects carry deeper significance. Possession of a finely made bronze blade or tool marks status within the community. A warrior's spear or a chieftain's axe is often decorated, inlaid with patterns or adorned with leather wraps. Such embellishments speak of pride, of identity, and of the role these implements play in both life and ceremony. Consider also the dangers of this craft. The forge is a place of intense heat and potential injury. The fumes can be harmful, the molten metal unforgiving. Accidents are not uncommon, and the smith must work with constant attention. His workshop is both a place of creation and a site of risk. The villagers respect this space. Children are kept at a distance, their curiosity tempered by tales of mishaps and the smith's stern warnings. To observe the process is to witness transformation, raw earth and metal made into tools that shape the world. As the day unfolds, the products of the forge are distributed. A new axe is presented to a farmer, its edge gleaming in the sun. A set of arrowheads is traded for grain or hides. The balance of exchange ensures that the benefits of the smith's labor reach throughout the village. In this way, bronze has woven itself into the fabric of daily life. It enhances the ability to work the land, to build, to protect. The villagers rely on these tools, their lives subtly reshaped by the power of this new metal. As the seasons pass, the role of bronze in village life grows steadily. The tools and weapons crafted from this metal are no longer rare novelties, but essential parts of daily survival. With each passing year, the smith's skills deepen, his reputation spreading to neighboring settlements. Travelers bring word of new techniques, of distant forges where metals are blended with great care, of blades so finely wrought they seem to sing through the air. In response, the smith experiments. He refines his molds, shaping them with greater precision. He tests the proportions of tin and copper, seeking the perfect balance. Each success strengthens the village, each failure a lesson. His workshop hums with quiet purpose, the rhythms of creation echoing through the cold mornings and long afternoons. New forms emerge from the forge. Small chisels and awls, their points sharp and slender, make finer work possible. Artisans use them to carve bone, wood, and antler, producing intricate patterns for decoration and trade. Bronze needles enable tighter stitching, stronger garments. Even a humble fishhook, crafted from bronze, proves more durable and reliable than those of bone or wood. Weapons, too, evolve, The bronze sword begins to appear among the wealthier warriors. Short, broad-bladed, and double-edged, it requires skill to wield but offers a new level of combat readiness. Its presence on the battlefield alters the balance of power. Those who possess such weapons command respect, their prowess enhanced by the gleam of polished metal. Ownership of bronze becomes a marker of status. The chieftain's hall displays finely worked blades and tools, symbols of both wealth and influence. Trade networks expand to meet the growing demand for copper and tin. Merchants travel farther afield, their journeys linking distant communities. Stories of rich ore veins and skilled smiths circulate widely, feeding the hunger for this transformative metal. Yet with these advancements come new tensions. The value of bronze tools and weapons makes them objects of desire, and disputes arise. Raids and skirmishes occur, driven by the quest for resources and prestige. The need for defense grows more pressing. Villages strengthen their palisades, organize their warriors, and seek alliances to ensure mutual protection. Amid these shifting dynamics, the role of the smith remains central. His work arms the defenders, equips the hunters, and shapes the tools that build homes and prepare food. His forge is a place of both creation and caution, where the boundaries between life and harm are thin. His standing in the village reflects this duality. He is respected, even revered, but also regarded with a certain wariness, for his craft touches forces both elemental and dangerous. The relationship between the smith and the chieftain is particularly important. The leader depends on the smith as skills to maintain the strength of his warriors and the prosperity of the village. In turn, the smith benefits from the chieftain's protection and support. This bond reinforces the social order, anchoring the community's stability. As new generations grow, the knowledge of bronze working is carefully passed on. Apprentices are chosen with care, their training long and demanding. They learn not only the technical aspects of the craft, but also the rituals and customs that surround it. The forge is a place of tradition as much as innovation. Its practice is shaped by the wisdom of those who came before. Through it all, the metal itself remains constant. Bronze, born of fire and earth, endures. Its presence touches every part of village life, from the simplest tool to the finest weapon. It is a testament to human ingenuity, to the desire to shape and improve the world. As the day fades and the forge's fire dims, the smith sets aside his tools. The village settles into evening calm, the air filled with the sense of wood smoke and cooling metal. Tomorrow the work will begin again, the cycle of creation continuing, forging the future from the elements of the earth. Chapter 6. Cures, Charms, and Superstitions. The dawn breaks softly over the village, pale light creeping through the mist that clings to the fields. In the hush of morning, life stirs slowly, but not all tasks this day will be of grain or bronze. Some turn toward older knowledge, to the healing of the body and the calming of the spirit. For in the Bronze Age world, illness and misfortune are never far, and the line between health and harm is thin. Imagine the healer's hut, set slightly apart from the others. Its walls are draped with bundles of dried herbs, their scents mingling in the cool air. Laurel, yarrow, mugwort, and mint, each gathered in season and preserved with care. Bones, polished stones, and carved wooden charms hang from the beams. Quiet witnesses to the healer's art, a fire smolders low in the hearth, its smoke curling gently around the room. The healer, a woman of middle years, moves with calm purpose. Her knowledge is deep, passed through many generations. She knows which plants cool a fever, which soothe a troubled mind, which strengthen the weak. Her tools are simple: stone pestles, bone knives, clay bowls. But her understanding of nature's gifts is profound. This morning, a young mother arrives, her infant restless and pale. The healer listens closely, her voice low and soothing. She selects a handful of dried elderflower, crumbles it into hot water, and lets it steep. The mother waits, hope mingling with worry. The infusion, once cooled, is fed to the child in careful sips. It is not magic, but knowledge born of long experience and careful observation. Yet not all ailments yield to herbs alone. The villagers believe in forces unseen and spirits that can bring misfortune or sickness. To guard against them, charms are worn, small figures of bone or knotted cords imbued with meaning. The healer crafts these too, her fingers nimble, as she knots protective patterns into strands of wool. When a serious illness strikes, rituals are performed. The healer chants softly, her words winding through the hut. She sprinkles powdered herbs into the fire, releasing fragrant smoke meant to cleanse and protect. The family watches, reverent and still. These acts, though simple, provide comfort, anchoring the community's hope and tradition. Superstition runs deep in this world. A child born beneath a waning moon may be thought vulnerable to bad luck. A sudden wind through the trees could signal the presence of restless spirits. To counter these fears, offerings are made, a piece of bread left by the threshold, a small token cast into the stream. These gestures acknowledge forces beyond human control, seeking balance through respect. Among the tools of the healer, objects believed to carry power. A stone shaped by nature, smooth and round, used to ease pain. A feather found in the forest, carried for luck. The boundaries between cure and charm are blurred. What matters is the outcome: relief, recovery, reassurance. Knowledge of these practices spreads quietly through the village. Mothers teach their daughters the uses of certain herbs. Hunters share tales of protective charms. The healer herself mentors an apprentice, her patient guidance ensuring that the old ways will endure. In a world where written records do not exist, memory and spoken word carry the weight of wisdom. Not all cures are successful. The healer knows this well. There are times when illness claims a life, despite all efforts. In such moments, ritual takes the place of remedy. The community gathers, chants are sung, and the spirit of the departed is honored. Grief is tempered by tradition, offering solace in the face of loss. As the day unfolds, the healer continues her work. She gathers new herbs at the forest's edge, her eyes sharp for signs of potency. She listens to dreams and omens, her counsel sought not just for the body, but for matters of the heart and spirit. Her role is one of care, of connection, her presence a quiet strength in the life of the village. The healer returns from the forest, her basket filled with fresh herbs and roots. Each plant is selected with care, chosen for its properties and its place in a cycle of life. She moves with quiet assurance, her knowledge of the land guiding her. The villagers watch her passing with respect, for they know that her understanding reaches beyond the visible world. In her hut, the herbs are sorted and prepared. Some are hung to dry, their leaves crisping in the warm air. Others are crushed and mixed into salves or tinctures. The healer works with patient hands, her mind focused on the task. Each preparation is an offering of care, a bridge between nature and the needs of her people. Visitors arrive throughout the day. A man with an aching back, a child with a rash, a woman troubled by dreams. The healer listens, her gaze steady and kind. She offers remedies of herbs and honey, of poultices and teas. For deeper troubles, she crafts charms, weaving intent into each knot and thread. Her touch is gentle, her words calm. In this way, healing is more than the mending of the body. It is the restoration of balance, the easing of fear. Ritual plays a central role in her practice. At times of change or uncertainty, the healer leads ceremonies to protect and guide the community. A birth is marked with the lighting of a sacred fire, herbs cast into the flames to bless the new life. A coming of age is honored with a chant beneath the stars, binding the young person to the traditions of their ancestors. Even the changing seasons are observed, their passing woven into the fabric of village life. The villagers take part in these rituals with reverence. They understand that health is not merely a matter of the flesh, but of harmony with the world around them. Illness may arise from broken taboos, from imbalances in nature, or from the displeasure of unseen spirits. To ignore these forces is to court misfortune. At times, the healer seeks guidance through signs and omens. The flight of birds, the patterns of smoke, the shapes formed in water or stone. These are read with care, their meaning subtle and layered. The villagers trust her interpretations, her insight shaping their actions and choices. The healer also maintains relationships with the spirits of the land. Offerings are made at sacred groves and springs, words of respect spoken into the wind. These acts honor the old ways, sustaining the connection between people and place. It is believed that such respect brings favor, ensuring fertility, health, and protection. Stories of healing and magic circulate through the village. Tales of ailments cured, of misfortunes averted by a well-timed charm. These stories reinforce the healer's role, weaving her presence into the collective memory. Her knowledge is sought not only in times of need, but in the quiet moments between, when wisdom is valued as much as remedy. As twilight falls, the healer prepares her hut for the night. The fire is banked, the herbs arranged. She sits quietly, her thoughts on the day's work. There is satisfaction in her role, in the steady rhythm of care and counsel. She knows that her work, though humble, sustains the village in ways that reach beyond the visible. Outside, the village settles into rest. The stars emerge, their light soft and distant. The healer's hut remains a place of quiet strength, a sanctuary of knowledge and tradition. In this world of fire and earth, of life and mystery, her presence endures. A bridge between the seen and unseen, the known and the unknown. Chapter 7. What They Wore. Bronze Age fashion. The soft light of morning filters through the village, casting long shadows across the earth. The chill in the air is held at bay by layers of wool and fur, each garment crafted with care. In the Bronze Age world, clothing is more than mere protection from the elements. It is a reflection of identity, of status, of the rhythms of life itself. Imagine a woman seated by her loom. The wooden frame stands tall, threads stretch taut across it. Her fingers move with practiced ease, weaving wool into sturdy cloth. The wool is spun by hand, the fibers drawn from the coats of sheep tended by the village herders. It is dyed with plants gathered from the fields and forests. The colors rich and earthy, deep browns, soft grays, muted reds. Each hue carries meaning, each thread a connection to the land. The garments she creates are simple in form but rich in texture. Tunics of woven wool, belted at the waist, provide warmth and ease of movement. Cloaks fastened with bronze brooch shield against wind and rain. Underlayers of softer linen, spun from flax, offer comfort. The combination is practical, suited to the demands of life in a world shaped by labor and the changing seasons. Men's clothing mirrors these needs. Tunics and trousers of wool, often reinforced at the knees and elbows, serve both farmers and warriors. Cloaks are worn when traveling, their folds offering both warmth and a place to carry small items. Footwear is crafted from leather softened by use, stitched with sinew. Each piece is made to last, to endure the rigors of daily life. Children, too, wear garments suited to their roles. Smaller versions of adult clothing, often simpler and patched with care. As they grow, their garments change. reflecting new responsibilities and milestones. The transition from child to adult is marked not only by age, but by the donning of garments crafted with greater care and symbolism. Adornment holds its own place in this world. Jewelry crafted from bronze, amber, bone, and shell adds beauty and meaning. A finely worked brooch, a string of amber beads, a carved bone pendant, each speaks of the wearer's place within the community. These items are often passed down, their histories woven into family stories. Headwear varies by need and occasion. Simple woolen caps ward off the cold. On ceremonial days, elaborate headdresses may be worn, adorned with feathers, beads, and small metal discs. These pieces mark the importance of the event, signaling respect for tradition and the sacred. Clothing also reflects the rhythms of the seasons. In the warmth of summer, lighter garments of linen prevail. During the long winters, layers of wool and fur become essential. The garments adapt to the cycles of nature, just as the people do. The process of making clothing is communal. Women spin and weave, dye and stitch, sharing knowledge and stories as they work. The loom stands at the heart of many households, its rhythmic clatter a familiar sound. Each piece of cloth carries with it the touch of many hands, the care of the community. The dyes used in their work come from the natural world. Woad for blue, madder for red, walnut husks for brown. The colors are subtle, blending harmoniously with the landscape. Bright hues are rare, reserved for special occasions or those of higher status. The crafting of dyes is itself a skilled art, requiring patience and an understanding of nature's gifts. Beyond their practical use, garments serve to mark identity. The cut of a tunic, the clasp of a cloak, the weight of a brooch, each detail signals information about the wearer's age, role, and standing. These visual cues help structure the social fabric, guiding interactions and relationships. As the sun climbs higher, the village comes alive with movement. Figures pass by, each clad in the garments of their craft and station. The rhythm of daily life unfolds, woven into the very fabric of what they wear. In this world of earth and sky, of labor and ceremony, clothing is both shield and symbol, a constant companion on the journey through the seasons. As the day progresses, the tasks of crafting and mending garments continue throughout the village. In one corner of a sunlit hut, a group of women gathers. Skeins of wool are spun on drop spindles, the fibers twisting beneath nimble fingers. Conversations flow as steadily as the spinning, blending stories of ancestors with practical advice. This is more than simple labor. It is the passing of knowledge, the reinforcement of community bonds. Nearby, another woman tends a dye pot. The liquid within simmers gently, releasing fragrant steam. Bundles of yarn are lowered carefully into the pot, the colors deepening with time. The choice of plants, the timing of the dye, the method of fixing the color, all these require skill and experience. The hues that emerge from this process will shape the garments worn by the entire village. Men also take part in aspects of clothing production, especially in the crafting of leather goods. Hides, tanned through weeks of careful treatment, are shaped into sturdy footwear, belts, and protective garments. The scent of worked leather mingles with that of wool and dye, filling the air with the rich aromas of the crafts. In times of ceremony, clothing takes on added significance. The chieftain and his family don garments of exceptional quality, adorned with fine jewelry and intricate patterns. These outfits reflect not only their status, but the collective effort of the village. To wear such garments is to embody the community's pride and achievements. Special garments are also worn by those who perform sacred roles. The healer's cloak, marked with symbolic stitches and protective charms, sets her apart. Ritual leaders may wear headdresses and sashes reserved for specific ceremonies. These garments carry meanings that extend beyond their material form, linking the wearer to the spiritual life of the village. The act of dressing itself holds meaning. To wrap oneself in a finely woven cloak, to fasten a brooch that belonged to a grandparent, to tie a belt with practiced hands, these are daily rituals that affirm identity and continuity. They ground the individual in the flow of tradition, connecting past, present, and future. Children learn these lessons gradually. A young girl might begin by helping her mother sort wool or wind skeins of yarn. A boy might assist in preparing hides or repairing worn footwear. Through these small tasks, they absorb the skills and the values that will guide them as adults. Clothing also serves as a marker of life's transitions. The garments of a child differ from those of an adolescent. The attire of a newly married woman signals her new role. Even in death, the garments chosen for burial carry meaning, honoring the life and status of the departed. The cycle of creation and renewal continues with the seasons. As garments wear and fray, they are patched, repurposed, or replaced. Nothing is wasted. Old cloth may be cut into strips for binding or woven into new items. This mindful approach reflects the villagers' deep connection to their resources and their respect for the labor involved in creating every piece. As evening falls, the day's work winds down. Finished garments are folded with care, set aside for use or trade. The loom stands quiet, its warp awaiting the next day's weaving. Around the hearth, families gather, their clothing a reflection of their lives and their place within the community. In this world shaped by earth, sky, and human hands, what they wore was far more than fabric and thread. It was a living expression of culture, of resilience, of the ties that bound them to each other and to the land. The garments of the Bronze Age may have faded with time, but their stories remain, woven into the enduring memory of the past. Chapter 8. Life of a Chieftain's Family. The rising sun casts long beams of light across the village, illuminating the chieftain's hall. Larger and more finely built than the others, its walls are reinforced with timber, its roof thick with tightly packed thatch. Carved posts mark its entrance, each one etched with patterns that speak of lineage and power. Within, the life of the chieftain's family unfolds in rhythms shaped by duty, tradition, and the ever-watchful eyes of the community. Step inside and you will find a space filled with warmth and activity. The central hearth burns steadily, its smoke rising to the high roof beams. Around it, the family gathers. The chieftain, his spouse, their children, and a retinue of kin and trusted allies. The air is rich with the scent of roasting meat, of herbs simmering in pots, of leather and wool. This is a household that must balance leadership with daily life, where public image and private bonds intertwine. The chieftain himself holds a position of great responsibility. He must lead in council, settle disputes, and ensure the prosperity of the village. His days are filled with meetings, with warriors seeking advice, with visiting traders offering news and goods. He wears a cloak of fine wool, fastened with a bronze brooch of intricate design. His arm rings gleam in the firelight, tokens of wealth and authority. Yet beneath these symbols lies the constant burden of leadership. His spouse plays an equally vital role. She oversees the management of the household, ensuring that food stores are well kept, that garments are crafted and maintained, that rituals and ceremonies are properly observed. Her knowledge of the old ways commands respect. Her jewelry of amber and bronze speaks of her status, but it is her wisdom and skill that anchor her place within the hall. Their children, too, feel the weight of expectation. The eldest son trains daily with spear and shield, his movements guided by the village's seasoned warriors. He must prepare for the day when leadership may fall to him. The daughters learn the arts of weaving, of healing, of managing a household. Their education is both practical and symbolic, ensuring the continuation of the family's standing. Life in the chieftain's hall is marked by ceremony. Meals are not merely sustenance, but occasions of display. Guests are welcomed with feasts, the finest food set before them, tender meats, richly spiced stews, bread of the whitest flour, cups of fermented drink pass from hand to hand. Songs are sung, tales of heroic deeds recounted. Such gatherings reinforce alliances, cement friendships, and remind all of the chieftain's generosity and power. Yet behind this display lies constant vigilance. Rivals watch for any sign of weakness. The chieftain must balance firmness with fairness, strength with wisdom. Decisions made in haste can sow discord. Words spoken without care can fracture alliances. The family must remain ever mindful, their actions measured and deliberate. The household staff, drawn from loyal families, supports the family's efforts. Skilled cooks, weavers, and warriors ensure that the hall runs smoothly. Their loyalty is cultivated through respect and reward. They in turn serve not only the chieftain, but the stability of the entire village. The rhythms of the seasons shape the life of the hall. In winter, the hearth burns brighter, stories growing longer in the dark evenings. In summer, the hall opens to the breeze. Its space is filled with light and laughter. Through it all, the chieftain's family remains at the heart of village life, their fortunes rising and falling with the tides of nature and human endeavor. Visitors from other villages are received with care. Gifts are exchanged, news shared, alliances discussed. These interactions extend the chieftain's influence, weaving connections across the wider region. A well-forged alliance can bring prosperity. A broken one can lead to conflict. Every word, every gesture carries weight. In this world where power is personal, where strength must be proven again and again, the chieftain's family walks a path both privileged and precarious. They lead not by force alone, but through wisdom, generosity, and a deep understanding of the delicate balance that holds their community together. As the day progresses, the life within the chieftain's hall continues to unfold in its measured rhythm. The family's influence extends far beyond the boundaries of their home. Decisions made within these walls ripple outward, shaping the fortunes of the village and its people. The chieftain's role as leader is not confined to moments of ceremony or conflict. It is lived in every interaction, every judgment, every choice. Messages arrive from neighboring settlements, carried by trusted messengers. News of trade opportunities, of disputes needing resolution, of marriages proposed to bind families closer. Each piece of information is weighed carefully. The chieftain's counsel is sought not only by his immediate followers, but by a broader circle of allies and kin. His wisdom and fairness are his greatest tools, securing loyalty and respect. In the quieter moments of the day, the chieftain and his spouse consult together. They speak of the needs of the village, of plans for the coming seasons, of the well-being of their people. This partnership is a foundation of their leadership. Together they navigate the complexities of power and community life, their shared purpose evident in every decision. Children of the hall are taught by example. They observe the responsibilities their parents shoulder, the grace with which they meet challenges. They learn the arts of diplomacy, of hospitality, of leadership. The eldest son trains not only in the use of weapons, but in the skills of negotiation and governance. The daughters learn to manage resources, to foster alliances, to uphold the family standing through their actions and choices. Visitors are common, and each arrival is an opportunity to strengthen ties. A traveling bard may be welcome to share songs and news from afar. A trader might bring rare goods in exchange for local wares. The hall's atmosphere shifts with these encounters, each one a thread in the tapestry of the community's relationships. Feasting remains a central expression of the family's role. These gatherings are occasions to display generosity, to reinforce bonds among allies, and to remind all present of the chieftain's resources and influence. The preparation of such events involves the entire household. Cooks labor over hearth and spit, servants prepare the hall, warriors ensure security. Every detail reflects the family's commitment to their place at the village's heart. Rituals, too, punctuate the life of the hall. Seasonal festivals, rites of passage, ceremonies to honor ancestors, all are observed with care. The chieftain and his spouse lead these events, their participation affirming their role as both leaders and custodians of tradition. Through these acts, they embody the continuity of the community's values. Yet, beneath the surface, the realities of leadership weigh heavily. The threat of conflict is never far. The need to maintain alliances, to manage rivalries, to protect the village from external dangers requires constant attention. Trust must be earned and preserved. Every action is measured, every relationship carefully tended. As twilight deepens, the hall grows quieter. The day's labors give way to reflection and planning. The family gathers around the hearth, their conversation turning to the challenges ahead. The chieftain's gaze lingers on his children, knowing that one day the mantle of leadership will pass to them. The lessons they learn now will shape the future of the village. In this world, where strength and wisdom must walk hand in hand, the life of a chieftain's family is one of unceasing responsibility. They are the stewards of their people's well-being, the guardians of tradition, the architects of alliances. Their every word and action carries weight, their every decision shaping the course of the community. As the embers glow softly in the hearth, the hall settles into night. Outside, the village lies quiet beneath the stars. Within, the chieftain's family prepares for another day, ready to meet the unending demands of leadership with resolve and grace. Chapter 9. Bronze Age trade routes. A faint mist lingers over the landscape, the dawn sky tinged with soft gold. In the stillness of early morning, a small group prepares for a journey. Their carts are loaded with woven baskets, sealed pots, bundles wrapped in cloth and hide. Oxen stand ready, their breath steaming in the cool air. These travelers are not merely wanderers. They are traders, bearers of goods and news, threads in the vast network that binds distant communities together. Trade in the Bronze Age is a vital force. It connects villages scattered across the land, weaving ties of friendship, alliance, and shared purpose. Through these routes flow not only material goods, but ideas, stories, and cultural practices. The people of the village understand this well. The goods they send out will return transformed. A blade of foreign bronze, a bead of distant amber, a story from another land. The journey is not easy. The roads, if they can be called that, are rough tracks worn by generations of feet and wheels. Forests press close, rivers must be forded, hills climbed. Yet the rewards outweigh the risks. The traders set out with quiet determination, their movements practiced, their route well considered. Among the goods they carry are finely woven textiles, dyed with rich hues, smooth pottery, shaped with skill and fired with care. Tools of bronze and stone, each one a testament to the village's craftsmanship. Bundles of dried herbs, sought for their healing properties. In exchange, they seek materials not found in their own land: tin for the smith's forge, salt to preserve food, rare stones for ornament, amber from the northern coasts. Along the route, they will stop at familiar places, hilltop settlements where other traders gather, crossroads marked by ancient stones, river crossings known for safe passage. These points of contact are more than practical stops. They are moments of exchange where goods change hands, friendships are renewed, and news spreads from village to village. At these gatherings, the language of trade is spoken in gesture as much as word. A glance, a nod, the weighing of a blade in the hand. Trust is the currency that matters most. A reputation for honesty ensures future welcome. A misstep can close doors for seasons to come. The traders also bring knowledge. News of distant harvests, of shifting alliances, of new techniques in metalworking or farming. Their tales enrich the life of the village, broadening horizons, inspiring innovation. The flow of information is as valuable as any material good. As the day unfolds, the trading party moves steadily onward. Their progress is marked by the creak of cartwheels, the soft murmur of conversation, the occasional call to the oxen. The land shifts around them. Forest gives way to open plain, river to ridge. Each new landscape brings its own challenges, its own beauty. In the evenings, they make camp near familiar landmarks. Fires are kindled, simple meals prepared. Stories are shared beneath the stars, their voices carrying in the quiet night. These moments of camaraderie bind the group together, strengthening the ties that will see them through the journey. Encounters with other travelers are met with cautious greeting. Friend or stranger, ally or rival, must be discerned with care. Yet most seek the same purpose: exchange, connection, the steady weaving of the web of trade. The rhythms of this life are as old as the paths they follow. Generation after generation, traders have walked these routes, their footsteps marking the earth. Their journeys shape the world in subtle ways, linking distant lands, enriching communities, forging bonds that transcend time. As dawn approaches once more, the trading party readies for another day. The wheels turn, the path stretches ahead. In this ancient world, where isolation can mean hardship, the traders are lifelines, bearers of hope and possibility. Their journeys are quiet acts of courage and connection, vital threads in the fabric of Bronze Age life. The traders rise early, their breath visible in the cool morning air. They break camp with quiet efficiency, familiar with the tasks that await them. The path ahead is long, winding through dense forests and over rolling hills. Their carts are checked once more, straps tightened, wheels inspected. Each item of cargo is secured, for the journey can be rough, and a spilled load may mean the loss of hard-earned goods. As they move onward, the landscape unfolds in slow, deliberate rhythm. The tracks they follow are worn by centuries of use, yet nature always encroaches. Fallen branches must be cleared, muddy patches navigated with care. The trader's eyes are sharp, watching for signs of danger, whether from shifting ground or the rare threat of bandits. Villages appear on the horizon, their smoke rising in thin trails against the sky. These stops are both necessary and welcome. The arrival of the traders brings excitement, the promise of new wares, of news from the wider world. Children gather to watch as the carts are unpacked, their curiosity mingled with wonder. Within the village, negotiations begin. Goods are displayed with care, their qualities explained with patient words and gestures. A bronze blade catches the eye of a warrior. A length of dyed cloth draws admiration from a weaver. The exchanges are conducted with respect, each side mindful of value and fairness. Haggling is expected, but trust remains the foundation of every transaction. Beyond the goods themselves, the traders bring stories. They speak of distant markets, of strange customs, of lands where the sun sets later or rises earlier. These tales stir the imaginations of their listeners, broadening their sense of the world. In return, they gather local news, piecing together a larger picture of the land's shifting fortunes. The trader's reputation grows with each journey. A fair deal here, a fulfilled promise there, and soon their arrival is eagerly anticipated. They are more than merchants. They are bridges between communities, their movements shaping patterns of alliance and influence. In the chiefdom's hall, they are welcomed as honored guests. Their presence affirms the village's connections to the wider world. Feasts may be held in their honor, stories exchanged by firelight. These moments strengthen bonds, ensuring that future journeys will be met with friendship rather than suspicion. The return journey carries its own rhythm. The carts, lighter now but filled with new goods, roll steadily along the familiar tracks. The traders move with practiced pace, eager to bring their wares home. Along the way, they may encounter other parties, exchanging greetings, sometimes goods, always information. The network of trade is alive, its threads ever shifting and growing. As they near their home village, the sense of completion builds. Familiar landmarks appear, the shape of distant hills, the bend of a river. The final stretch is traveled with a quiet sense of accomplishment. The journey has tested their endurance, sharpened their skills, reinforced their place within the broader world. Upon arrival, the village gathers to greet them. Goods are unloaded, news shared, tales told around the hearth. The community's life is enriched, its connections to distant places reaffirmed. The traders' efforts have brought more than material wealth. They have woven the village more tightly into the fabric of the world beyond its borders. In the quiet that follows, plans for the next journey begin to take shape. New routes to explore, new alliances to foster, new stories to gather. The life of the trader is one of constant motion, of pathways stretching ever onward. In the Bronze Age world, their journeys are vital threads, connecting people and places across time and distance. Chapter 10: Ancient Domestic Animals. The village stirs to life beneath a pale morning sky, the fields and pastures slowly brightening in the soft light. Among the first sounds of the day are those of animals, the low murmur of cattle, the bleating of sheep, the clucking of hens. In the Bronze Age world, domestic animals are more than mere companions. They are essential partners in survival, shaping the rhythms of daily life and the fortunes of the community. Step into the scene and you will find pens and enclosures carefully maintained, their wooden fences weathered by years of use. Cattle, large and steady-eyed, stand close together, their breath misting in the cool air. They are valued not only for their meat, but for their strength. Oxen pull carts and plows, their patient labor essential to the work of the fields. Their hides provide leather, their bones tools and ornament. Nearby, sheep graze in close groups, their wool thick and soft. The spinners and weavers of the village rely on this wool, transforming it into cloth that shields against wind and cold. The shearing of the sheep is an event of its own, a time of careful labor and shared effort. Their milk, too, is used, sometimes made into cheese to be stored for leaner times. Goats, agile and inquisitive, roam the edges of the settlement. Their milk offers nourishment, their meat a valued addition to the diet. Their ability to thrive in rougher terrain makes them a resilient part of the village's economy. They are often tended by children, who learn early the skills of animal care and observation. Pigs root about in pens or forage at the village margins. Their diet is varied, their growth rapid. In time, they provide a rich source of meat, preserved through salting or smoking. The sounds of their snuffling are a familiar part of village life. Their presence, a quiet assurance of sustenance to come. And then there are the dogs. Medium in size, keen of sense, they move easily among the people. They guard the herds, warn of strangers, and assist in the hunt. Their loyalty is well known, their bond with the villagers strong. They share the hearth in colder months, their forms curled in sleep beside the fire. The care of these animals is a daily responsibility. Each morning, pens are checked, feed provided, water replenished. The health of the animals is watched closely. A cough, a limp, a change in appetite, all are signs to be heeded. The well-being of the herd or flock is directly tied to the well-being of the village. The healer's knowledge extends to animals as well. Remedies for illness, treatments for injury, are applied with the same care as those given to people. A poultice for a lame ox, an herbal infusion for a sickly goat, these acts are vital, preserving the strength of the animals upon which so much depends. The animals' cycles of life are marked by the seasons. Spring brings new births, the sight of lambs and calves in the fields, a source of joy and hope. Summer offers abundance, pastures rich with grass. In autumn, preparations are made for winter, feed stored, shelters reinforced. Each season brings its own tasks, its own rhythms of care. The bond between people and animals runs deep. They are not only resources, but part of the village's life. Children name their favorite lambs, laugh at the antics of young goats. The death of a valued ox or a loyal dog is met with real sorrow. In this world, where life and survival are so closely intertwined, the relationship between humans and animals is one of respect, responsibility, and gratitude. As the sun rises higher, the sounds of village life mingle with the voices of the animals. The day's tasks unfold with steady rhythm. Herds are led to pasture, guided along worn paths by watchful eyes and practiced hands. Flocks move as one, the soft bleating of sheep blending with the calls of their keepers. Each movement is part of a larger pattern, one shaped by generations of knowledge and care. The animals graze beneath a wide sky, their presence shaping the land as much as it shapes them. The choice of pastures, the rotation of grazing, the timing of harvest and slaughter, each decision reflects a deep understanding of balance. The villagers know that to take too much risks the health of the land, the animals, and the people alike. Harmony is sought in all things. At the stream's edge, cattle drink, their great heads lowering to the clear water. Goats pick their way along rocky outcrops, finding forage where others cannot. Pigs root through fallen leaves, turning the soil as they search for hidden morsels. Their movements enrich the land, their waste feeding the fields, their lives bound to the cycles of nature. The relationship between people and animals is practical, but it also carries elements of reverence. Certain animals are honored in song and story, their virtues praised around the hearth. A wise old ox, a brave hunting dog, a Awe that has mothered many strong lambs, these are remembered, their deeds woven into the fabric of village memory. Feasts mark important moments in this relationship. The slaughter of an animal for a great feast is accompanied by ritual. Thanks are given, not only for the meat provided, but for the life that sustained the community. Bones may be set aside with care, certain cuts reserved for elders or honored guests. In these acts, respect and gratitude are expressed in tangible ways. Trade, too, is shaped by animals. A well-bred piglet, a strong young bull, a Awe heavy with wool. These are valuable commodities, sought in neighboring villages. Such exchanges strengthen bonds between communities, creating ties of friendship and mutual reliance. Training and breeding are important skills. The villagers select for strength, for health, for temperament. A good herder knows the lineage of each animal, the traits that will serve future generations. This knowledge is passed from parent to child, an unbroken chain of care and understanding. Challenges arise as well. Illness can sweep through a herd. A predator may strike under cover of night. In such times, the villagers respond with swift action, guided by experience and the counsel of their healer. The losses are felt keenly, their impact reaching beyond the practical to touch the spirit of the community. As evening approaches, the animals are led back to the safety of pens and enclosures. The day's labor is nearly done. Water is drawn, feed is set out, bedding refreshed. The sounds of contented animals settling for the night blend with the quiet murmur of voices and the soft crackle of hearth fires. In this world, animals are far more than resources. They are partners in the dance of survival, companions in daily life. Their care reflects the values of the community, respect for nature, gratitude for sustenance, a deep awareness of the interwoven threads that bind all life together. As darkness falls and the village grows still, the bond between people and animals endures. It will be renewed with the coming dawn, carried forward through the cycles of the seasons, a testament to the enduring relationship that has shaped human life for countless generations. Chapter 11: Raising Children in the Bronze Age. The first light of dawn finds the village stirring quietly. Among those rising are the children, small figures moving with the ease of long habit through their familiar world. In the Bronze Age village, the life of a child is one of learning through doing, of watching and imitating, of gradual absorption into the rhythms of the community. There's no formal schooling here. Instead, every moment of the day offers lessons in survival, in tradition, and belonging. Imagine a young boy helping his father in the early hours. Together they lead the cattle to pasture. The boy watching closely as his father checks the animals, his words calm and instructive. The boy learns which herbs to watch for along the path, how to judge the weather by the scent of the air, how to spot signs of trouble in the herd. These skills are passed down not through books, but through experience, woven into the very fabric of life. Nearby, a young girl sits beside her mother at the loom. Her small fingers mimic the movements of weaving, her eyes attentive to the patterns emerging beneath her touch. She listens as her mother speaks of the dyes used, the strength of different threads, the meaning of certain designs. Through these moments, the girl gains not only practical knowledge, but an understanding of the stories and symbols that define her people. The boundaries between play and learning are fluid. Children fashion simple toys from scraps of wood and bone, but these playthings often reflect adult tools and roles. A carved wooden ox, a small bow and arrows, a miniature loom, each serves as both amusement and preparation. Through such play, children rehearse the tasks they will one day perform in earnest. The village as a whole contributes to their education. Elders tell stories around the hearth, weaving lessons of wisdom and caution into their tales. Hunters demonstrate the crafting of traps, the reading of tracks. Healers teach the identification of useful plants, the preparation of simple remedies. Every member of the community plays a part in shaping the next generation. Ritual also marks the stages of a child's life. At birth, ceremonies welcome the new life into the community. Charms may be tied to the infant's cradle, protective chants sung softly into the night. As the child grows, further rites acknowledge their passage from one stage of life to the next. A first hunt, a first weaving, a first successful tending of the hearth, all are occasions for quiet celebration and affirmation. Children learn early the value of cooperation. Tasks are often performed in groups, fostering bonds of friendship and mutual support. A team of boys mending a fence, a circle of girls preparing herbs, all experience the rewards of shared labor. These moments build the trust and cohesion that will sustain the community through challenges to come. Discipline is gentle but firm, guided by example and expectation. Mistakes are corrected with patience. Success is praised with warmth. The goal is not perfection, but steady growth and deep-rooted understanding. Even in leisure, learning continues. Songs sung at evening gather children and adults alike, their melodies carrying history and belief. The words, repeated night after night, embed lessons of courage, caution, and communal values. Through these shared experiences, children come to understand their place within the larger story of their people. As the sun climbs higher, the children's activities shift. Older ones accompany adults into the fields or forests, their roles expanding with their abilities. Younger ones remain closer to the village, their games echoing the tasks they will soon take on. Each day brings new experiences, new knowledge, new steps along the path to adulthood. In the Bronze Age world, raising children is not the work of one or two, but of all. The village holds a collective responsibility for its youngest members, guiding them with care and intention. In this way, each child grows not only in skill, but in connection, in understanding, in readiness to one day take their place among the keepers of tradition. As the day unfolds, the subtle education of the village's children continues. They accompany their elders into the fields, observing how the earth is turned and seeds are sown. They watch the careful tending of crops, learning which weeds to pull, how to spot signs of blight or drought. In these moments, the land itself becomes a teacher, its needs and rewards shaping young minds attuned to the cycles of nature. In the forest's edge, children learn to move quietly, to read the language of birdsong and rustling leaves. A boy crouches beside his uncle, who points out the tracks of a deer, the marks of a passing boar. The child listens, absorbing lessons in patience, in observation, in respect for the hunt. These skills will one day feed his family, sustain his people through lean times. At the stream, girls and boys gather water, their chatter mingling with the sounds of flowing current. They learn to gauge the water's clarity, to recognize plants that grow along its banks. Older children teach the younger, passing on small but vital pieces of knowledge. In this world, every task holds meaning, every experience a thread in the tapestry of understanding. Meals offer another form of learning. Children help prepare food, watching how ingredients are chosen, how herbs are used to flavor and heal. They see how the bounty of the fields and forests is transformed by skilled hands into nourishment. Around the hearth, they absorb stories of past harvests, of times of plenty and scarcity, of the enduring bond between the people and the land. Festivals and rituals provide important moments of communal learning. During seasonal celebrations, children witness the power of tradition. They see the elders perform rites that honor the sun, the earth, the spirits of water and sky. They learn the songs sung in thanks for the harvest, the dances that mark the changing year. Through these experiences, they come to understand the deeper currents that flow beneath daily life. As they grow, responsibilities increase. A boy might be tasked with tending a small flock of goats, learning to guide and protect them. A girl may oversee the preparation of dyes, her skill shaping the colors that clothe her family. Each new role is a step toward adulthood, a signal of trust and expectation. Success is met with quiet pride, mistakes with patient correction. Adolescence brings new rites of passage. A young hunter's first successful tracking is honored with a simple but meaningful ceremony. A girl who weaves her first full-length garment is celebrated with gifts and praise. These milestones affirm the individual's growing role within the community, strengthening the bonds between generations. Learning also comes through challenges. A harsh winter teaches the value of preparation. A failed crop reveals the importance of resilience. Illness and recovery deepen empathy and understanding. In facing these trials, children develop the strength and wisdom that will serve them throughout their lives. The role of the elders is vital in this process. Their stories, their counsel, their steady presence provide a foundation of guidance. They embody the accumulated wisdom of the community, a living link to the past. Children are taught to listen, to respect, to carry forward the knowledge entrusted to them. As evening falls, families gather around the hearth. Children rest at their parents' sides, the day's lessons settling into memory. The warmth of the fire, the comfort of familiar voices, the scent of smoke and earth all weave a sense of belonging, a place within the greater whole. In the Bronze Age village, to raise a child is to shape the future. It is an act of collective care, of shared purpose. Through daily life, through ritual, through challenge and triumph. Each child is prepared to take their place within the unbroken chain of human life. Their journey is guided by the wisdom of those who came before, their path illuminated by the enduring light of tradition. Chapter 12, Bronze Age Warfare. The village awakens to a clear morning, the sky pale above the distant hills. Life stirs as usual, yet beneath the surface of daily tasks lies an awareness that peace is never certain. In the Bronze Age world, the threat of conflict is an ever-present shadow. Disputes over land, resources, or honor can ignite quickly, and every community must be prepared to defend itself. Warfare is not constant, but when it comes, it shapes lives and alters destinies. The warriors of the village are not a separate class. They are farmers, herders, craftsmen, ordinary men called to extraordinary action when needed. Their weapons rest close at hand, their skills maintained through regular practice. In times of peace, they labor in the fields and workshops. In times of danger, they stand ready to protect their people. Step into the training ground at the village's edge. Here, men gather in the early light, bronze-tipped spears in hand. They move through drills, their motions practiced and deliberate. The clash of wooden shields rings out as they test their strength and skill. Each movement is honed through repetition, for when battle comes, hesitation can mean death. Bronze swords gleam in the sunlight. Short and broad, these weapons are designed for close combat. Their edges are kept sharp, their weight balanced for swift strikes. The smith who crafted them knows that in skilled hands, they can turn the tide of a fight. The warriors respect these blades, their value measured not only in metal, but in lives protected. Spears remain the weapon of choice for most. Their reach offers advantage, their tips piercing through leather and hide. Warriors train in formation, learning to move as one, to present a unified front against an enemy charge. Shields, crafted from wood and leather, provide vital defense. They bear the marks of past battles, each scar a silent story of survival. Armor is scarce and simple. Leather tunics reinforced with bronze scales offer some protection, but mobility remains key. Helmets of bronze are rare and prized, often reserved for chieftains or their chosen champions. In this world, skill and courage weigh as heavily as equipment. The causes of conflict vary. A contested hunting ground, a slighted alliance, a raid for resources, each can spark violence. News of such disputes spreads quickly, carried by traders or messengers. The village council meets to discuss the threat, strategies debated beneath the watchful gaze of the chieftain. Decisions must balance caution with resolve, for misjudgment can bring ruin. When the call to arms is made, the village moves with purpose. Weapons are prepared, alliances reinforced, plans laid with care. The warriors gather, their faces set with quiet determination. Families watch with mingled pride and fear, knowing the risks that lie ahead. The march to battle is a solemn affair. Songs of courage are sung to steel the heart. Charms are worn for protection, prayers whispered into the wind. The path leads through familiar lands, each step a reminder of what is at stake. The bond between comrades deepens, forged in shared purpose and trust. Engagements are swift and brutal. Bronze swords flash in the sun, spears thrust with precision, shields battered under the force of attack. The air fills with the sounds of combat, the clash of metal, the shouts of warriors. Discipline and unity often determine the outcome. Those who hold their line, who fight as one, can turn back even the fiercest assault. Victory brings relief, but also reflection. The fallen are honored, their names spoken with reverence. Wounds are tended, tales of bravery shared. The spoils of battle, if any, are distributed with care, mindful of fairness and the bonds of the community. Defeat brings sorrow, but also resilience. The village mourns its losses, but life must go on. Fields must be tended, herds cared for. The memory of conflict lingers, shaping future choices, reinforcing the lessons of strength and vigilance. In the Bronze Age world, warfare is a harsh teacher. It demands courage, skill, and unity. It weaves itself into the fabric of life, shaping leaders, forging alliances, testing the mettle of all, and always beneath the surface of peace. The knowledge remains, the need to be ready, to stand firm, to defend what is held dear. In the days following conflict, the village returns to its steady rhythm. The fields are tended once more, the animals cared for, the forges lit, yet the echoes of battle linger in quiet ways. Weapons are checked and repaired, shields mended where bronze and wood bore the weight of blows. The warriors speak of tactics, of moments of triumph or narrow escape. The lessons of each encounter are folded into their understanding, shaping preparations for whatever may come next. Young men, having witnessed their elders in battle, begin to take training more seriously. Under the guidance of seasoned fighters, they learn not only the movements of combat, but the discipline and endurance required. They listen closely to the counsel of those who have faced the enemy, understanding that strength alone is not enough. Awareness, cooperation, and resolve must temper the sword arm. Within the chieftain's hall, strategy continues to be a subject of quiet discussion. The council reflects on the causes and outcomes of the conflict. Diplomacy is considered as carefully as readiness for battle. Messages are sent to neighboring villages, alliances reaffirmed or renegotiated in light of new realities. The web of relationships that binds the region is fragile, and wisdom is needed to maintain it. The chieftain himself bears the visible and invisible weight of leadership. His role in war and peace alike is pivotal. He must inspire confidence among his warriors, show fairness in distributing rewards, and ensure that the village remains united. His presence among the people, his words and actions, help to heal the wounds left by violence. For the families of those who did not return, the loss is profound. Rituals of mourning are observed, songs of remembrance sung by firelight. The community comes together to honor the fallen, their names spoken with reverence. Though grief is deeply felt, there is comfort in shared remembrance, in the knowledge that the sacrifice is valued and the memory preserved. In quieter moments, the tools of war are set aside. The same hands that wielded swords now guide plows or repair dwellings. Life continues, shaped by both the memory of conflict and the enduring needs of daily survival. The balance between warrior and farmer, between hunter and herder, remains central to the identity of the community. The weapons themselves carry stories. A blade that defended the village may be passed from father to son, its history known and respected. A spear that turned the tide of battle might bear a new marking, a quiet testament to its use. These objects, though simple in form, hold meaning beyond their material value. They are symbols of courage, of duty, of the unbroken thread of protection that weaves through the life of the village. As seasons pass, the threat of conflict may fade, but preparation never ceases. The warriors continue to train, to maintain their readiness. The younger generation grows into its role, guided by those who have seen the cost of battle. The lessons of war shape not only individuals but the entire community, reinforcing the importance of unity, vigilance, and resilience. Through all of this, the cycles of life endure. The land is sown and harvested, the animals raised, the festivals celebrated. Yet beneath the surface, an understanding remains. Peace is precious, but it must be protected. The readiness to stand together in defense of home and kin is a core element of the community strength. As twilight settles over the village, fires burn softly in the hearths. The voices of warriors and weavers, of children and elders, mingle in the evening air. In this ancient world, where the shadow of conflict never fully disappears, life continues with quiet determination. The people endure, shaped by their past, bound to one another, ever mindful of the balance between war and peace. Chapter 30. Death, Burial, and the Afterlife. The first light of dawn brings a soft hush over the village. Yet there is no cheerful bustle today. The air feels different, heavy with reverence. A member of the community has passed, and now the villagers prepare to honor the dead. In the Bronze Age world, death is not the end of belonging. It marks a transition, a passage to another realm, and it is the duty of the living to guide that journey with care. The burial mound waits upon a nearby hill, its rounded form rising gently from the earth. These mounds or barrows dot the landscape, each a testament to lives once lived. To be laid within such a place is an honor, a sign of respect. The rituals that surround this moment are old, passed down through countless generations. They bind the living and the dead, weaving remembrance into the fabric of community life. Preparations begin with the careful washing and dressing of the body. Family members and trusted elders undertake this task, their movements slow and deliberate. The body is clothed in garments of fine wool, perhaps adorned with simple jewelry or a favorite brooch. Charms or amulets may be placed alongside, small tokens of protection for the journey ahead. The burial goods are chosen with great thought. A well-used blade, a spindle whorl, a cup of worked clay. These items are not mere possessions. They carry the essence of the person's life, reminders of their skills, their joys, their place within the community. Food and drink are also prepared, offerings to sustain the spirit on its path. Each object is arranged with care, its meaning understood by all present. The villagers gather in solemn procession. Voices are low, footsteps soft upon the earth. Songs of mourning are sung, their melodies weaving through the still morning air. These are not songs of despair, but of remembrance, of respect, of hope for the journey beyond. The presence of the community speaks of unity, of shared loss, of the enduring bonds that connect each person to the whole. At the burial site, the body is lowered with gentle hands. Words are spoken by the elders recalling the deeds and virtues of the departed. The earth is placed with care, each handful a gesture of farewell. The mound rises slowly, shaped by the labor of those left behind. It stands as a marker not only of death, but of life, of belonging, of memory. The belief in an afterlife shapes every aspect of this ritual. The journey of the spirit is not one of fear, but of passage. The ancestors wait beyond the veil, ready to welcome those who come. The cycle of life continues unbroken. To honor the dead is to affirm this truth, to ensure that the bonds of kinship and memory endure beyond the limits of flesh. Throughout the village, symbols of mourning appear, claws of muted color, gestures of respect. The hearth burns lower for a time, the rhythms of daily life paused in reflection. Yet life must go on. The animals must be tended, the fields worked, the children taught. In honoring the dead, the living reaffirm their own place within the cycle of life. The burial mound remains, a quiet presence upon the hill. Over time, grass will soften its edges, wildflowers will bloom upon its slopes. Yet the memory endures, carried in the stories told around the hearth, in the quiet moments of reflection, in the hearts of those who knew and loved. In this ancient world, death is not a rupture, but a transformation. It is marked with reverence, with ritual, with care. The community gathers not only in grief, but in gratitude for the life shared, for the lessons given, for the enduring bonds that weave the living and the dead into a single, unbroken tapestry. In the days that follow the burial, the village slowly returns to its daily rhythm, yet the presence of the departed lingers. The elders speak of the spirit's journey, of the path through the unseen world. The burial mound, now complete, stands as a beacon, a point of connection between the living and the ancestors. It is visited often, offerings of food, drink, or small tokens left in quiet moments. These gestures affirm that the bonds of kinship do not end with death. Around the hearth, stories of the departed are shared. Their deeds, their humor, their wisdom are remembered in the gentle glow of firelight. Younger members of the village listen intently, learning through these tales not only about the person who has passed, but about the values and beliefs that shape their community. In this way, memory is kept alive, woven into the living fabric of the village. Rituals of remembrance are woven into the calendar of the year. At certain times, perhaps on the anniversary of the death or during seasonal festivals, the community gathers again. Songs are sung, offerings renewed, the stories retold. These acts sustain the connection between generations, reinforcing the sense of continuity that defines the Bronze Age worldview. The ancestors are believed to watch over the living, to guide and protect them. Dreams may carry messages from beyond, omens interpreted as signs of their presence. The burial mound is a place of quiet reverence, but also of comfort. To visit it is to feel the nearness of those who have gone before, to draw strength from their enduring presence. The children of the village grow up with these traditions. From an early age, they learn to honor the dead, to understand that life and death are part of a greater whole. They accompany their parents to the mounds, help prepare offerings, listen to the old songs. In doing so, they absorb a sense of belonging that reaches beyond their own lifetime. Art and craftsmanship also reflect these beliefs. Carvings and decorations on tools, weapons, and household items often bear symbols of the afterlife, of protection, of remembrance. These motifs serve as daily reminders of the connection between worlds, of the unseen threads that bind the living to the past. Even in conflict or hardship, these bonds hold steady. A warrior may carry a charm given by an ancestor, a token of guidance and courage. A mother may sing an old song to her child, linking her voice to those of countless generations. In times of joy and sorrow alike, the presence of the ancestors is felt, shaping the heart of the community. When another death occurs, the cycle of ritual begins anew. Each burial reinforces the collective memory, adding to the layers of meaning that surround the burial mounds. The landscape itself becomes a tapestry of life and death, a place where stories and spirits reside side by side with the living. Through these practices, the village maintains a sense of continuity, of resilience. The inevitability of death is met not with despair, but with reverence and acceptance. Life is understood as a journey, each step part of a larger path. To honor that journey is to affirm the strength and unity of the community. As the seasons turn and new generations rise, the burial mounds endure. They watch silently over the fields, over the daily lives of those below. They remind all who pass that life is fleeting, but memory endures. In this Bronze Age world, the living and the dead are not divided, but connected in a timeless dance of remembrance and renewal. Chapter 14, The End of the Bronze Age. The village lies quiet beneath a sky of pale gray. The fields are tilled, the animals tended, the hearth fires burning low. Yet there is a subtle sense of change in the air, something felt though not fully understood. In the Bronze Age world, centuries of tradition and craftsmanship have shaped life. But now, slowly, those patterns begin to shift. The end of an age approaches not with sudden catastrophe, but with a steady accumulation of change. It begins with the trade routes. Familiar merchants arrive less often, their carts lighter, their stories tinged with uncertainty. The tin, once plentiful, grows scarce. Without it, the smith's forge struggles. Bronze becomes harder to make, its tools and weapons more precious with each passing season. The villagers speak in quiet tones of new metals, iron harder, more durable yet unfamiliar. The old ways, long trusted, feel the first tremors of challenge. The climate, too, plays its part. Seasons grow less predictable. Harvests falter under too much rain or too little. The balance between plenty and hunger shifts uneasily. The elders consult the old markers, the standing stones, the rituals of the solstice, yet the answers are not clear. The sun's return feels weaker, the earth less certain in its bounty. In response, alliances shift. Villages once bound by trade and friendship grow wary. Competition for resources sharpens old rivalries. Raids increase, small skirmishes breaking the long-held peace. Warriors are called upon more often, their readiness tested in new ways. The chieftain's role becomes more precarious, his leadership challenged by the growing unease. Within the village, the rhythms of daily life continue, but the signs of strain are visible. Tools are repaired again and again, their replacements slow to come. Garments are patched more carefully, wool spun thinner. The healer speaks of new illnesses, harder to cure. Each challenge is met with resilience, but the burden grows. The stories told around the hearth shift as well. Tales of great ancestors, of past glories, are mingled with cautionary tales of change. The younger generation listens with keen ears, sensing the weight of uncertainty that presses on their world. The rituals of the seasons are observed with renewed fervor, as if through devotion the old balance might be restored. News arrives of distant upheavals, settlements abandoned, new peoples moving across the land. The traders who still visit speak of iron blades, of warriors clad in strange armor, of old powers crumbling. The elders debate what these tidings mean. Some counsel caution, others preparation. All feel the tension in the air, the pull of forces beyond their knowing. Amid this, the burial mounds stand watch. They remind the living of continuity, of the deep roots that bind the community. In times of change, they offer solace, a link to the enduring past. Offerings are made more often now, prayers whispered with greater urgency. The ancestors are called upon for guidance, their wisdom sought in uncertain times. Yet change is relentless. The old trade routes fade. The supply of bronze dwindles further. Iron tools begin to appear, crude at first, but improving with each season. The smith watches these developments with wary eyes, knowing that his craft, long central to village life, stands at a crossroads. The chieftain, too, feels the weight of the times. His leadership must adapt, his alliances reinforced. He seeks new knowledge, new allies, while striving to maintain the heart of the community. His family stands with him, their roles shifting as the needs of the village evolve. The old ways are honored still, but the path ahead is unclear. Through it all, the people endure. They rise with the dawn, tend their fields, care for their herds. The bonds of kinship and community hold firm, even as the world beyond grows more uncertain. The spirit of resilience, forged over countless generations, remains unbroken. As seasons pass, the signs of change grow more pronounced. The arrival of iron tools in the village stirs both curiosity and unease. Iron axes cut wood more swiftly. Iron blades hold their edge longer. The smith observes these newcomers with a practiced eye, knowing that the old bronze, once prized, now faces an uncertain future. He experiments, learns, adapts. The forge still glows, but the metal worked within it is slowly changing. The younger generation embraces this shift more readily. To them, iron is not a threat to tradition, but a new tool, a new way to meet the challenges of their time. They test the strength of iron blades, learn new techniques from wandering smiths. The rhythm of craftsmanship evolves, as it always has, shaped by necessity and opportunity. In the fields, change is felt as well. Crops grow unevenly, weather patterns shift unpredictably. The wisdom of the elders is still valued, but even they speak of strange omens, of times not seen in living memory. The village adjusts its practices, seeking new ways to ensure survival. Barter with neighboring communities becomes more important, alliances more carefully tended. The structure of leadership evolves in response. The chieftain, once secure in his role, now navigates a more complex landscape. New leaders emerge, their authority rooted in adaptability as much as in lineage. Councils grow larger, decisions more collaborative. The voice of the people carries greater weight, shaped by the demands of a changing world. Rituals and beliefs adapt, too. The old rites are still observed, but new elements creep in, influenced by contact with distant communities, by the shifting winds of culture. The burial mounds remain sacred, but offerings now include tokens of iron, symbols of the new age. Songs are sung of both the ancestors and the challenges of the present. The spiritual life of the village, like all else, bends without breaking. Trade routes, though altered, continue to pulse with life. New paths open as others fade. The traders speak of distant lands where iron is plentiful, of new peoples with unfamiliar customs. The flow of goods brings with it new ideas, new skills. The village, once defined by the steady rhythms of the Bronze Age, now finds itself part of a wider, faster-moving world. Through all this, the daily life of the village continues. The fields are planted and harvested, the animals tended. Children grow, learning both the old ways and the new. The hearth fires burn, stories are told, laughter echoes beneath the stars. The essence of life remains, even as the form it takes evolves. With each passing year, the traces of the Bronze Age grow fainter. Bronze tools are still used, but fewer are made. The great stone circles stand silent, witnesses to a world in transition. The burial mounds, weathered by time, hold their place on the hills, linking past and present. The people remember even as they move forward. The end of the Bronze Age does not come with sudden ruin, but with a gradual turning of the wheel. The old ways give way to the new, shaped by necessity, by innovation, by the unceasing flow of time. The village, like countless others across the land, steps into a new era, carrying with it the wisdom of the past and the hopes of the future. In this way, life endures. The people of the Bronze Age, their hands once skilled in the working of stone and metal, their hearts bound to the rhythms of earth and sky, continue to shape the world in which they live. Their legacy remains, woven into the land, into the lives of those who follow. The past is never truly lost. It echoes in the present, in the stories we tell, in the paths we walk, beneath the same wide sky. And so, dear listener, Our journey through the Bronze Age village draws to a close. We've walked the quiet paths between the fields, stood beneath ancient stone circles, and glimpsed the lives of those who came long before us. Through hardship and ritual, change and resilience, their world echoes softly in ours. I hope this gentle exploration has brought you a sense of calm, a touch of wonder, and perhaps even a restful drift into sleep. And if you are still awake, well done. You've outlasted the Bronze Age itself. If you enjoyed this little trip through time, do let me know in the comments. I always love hearing your thoughts, your favorite moments, or simply a hello. And if you'd like more sleepy history journeys, don't forget to like this video, share it with a fellow Night Owl, and of course, subscribe to The Drowsy Historian for more soothing stories from the past. Until next time, sleep well, dream of ancient fires, and remember, history is never too boring when you're with the Drowsy Historian.